and welcome to Gilded Plans. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm Olga and I'm so happy you've joined me in this little corner of the internet. Today in your Filofax Personalization Guide, Chapter 1, DIY Front Pockets, we are going to create custom front pockets for your ring binder. Yay! Or back pockets if you prefer that. If your Filofax didn't come with any pockets, don't worry. We'll make ones that fit beautifully, feel personal, and add just a little more you to your planner. So let's get started. I'm going to show you exactly what we are going to create today, which is this beautiful constellation right here. You can see this little flap here. It is held down by this pin. So this is optional, but I would still suggest you get this. So this is what we're going to create so we can decorate the front pocket of our Filofax crock in the personal size. All the measurements that I'm going to give you within this series are all specified to this planner and to this size. So if you want to create it for a pocket planner or anything else, you will have to adjust it accordingly. So we are going to decorate this classic crock right here, the black one that I have. This is actually my very first Filofax. No, my second, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, we are going to decorate this beautiful Filofax crock together. And as you can see here in the front, we don't have any pockets. They're all in the back. So this is why we are going to create this folder, this pocket folder or front pocket folder, whatever you want to call it. So we can decorate the front of our planner. If you have pockets in the front and you don't have any in the back, you can do the same thing for the back side of your planner. Adjust it however you like. Let's get into it. Before we jump into the tutorial itself, I want to show you all the things you need to create this. This one is optional. It does not have to be a cutting board. You can also substitute this one for scissors, just any that you have, but you need something to cut. We are going to need some pockets, some sticky pockets that you can glue down or stick down on surfaces. I have these ones from Temu, but you can find it anywhere, I'm sure. I have them in this orientation and in this orientation. As you can see, I love using them. I'm almost out of them. So the next thing we also need is any kind of ruler you have. I have this really old one from the FIFA World Cup from 2006. So another thing we need is a non-permanent marker. You can use any kind that you have. I have this Faber-Castell multi-marker non-permanent in the size F, but it can be anything because we will erase whatever markings we have done afterwards. So it doesn't really matter. Then pins are optional. I have these two. I'm going to decide later on which one I'm going to use. We are going to need document pockets. I think that's what they're called. I have this crystal clear luxury look that I love using because it's quite thick and it gives a bit more hold, I guess, to it. So I'm using this one, but you can use any document protectors, right? That's what they're called. So yeah, use any that you want. I'm going to clear up some space so we can get started. Okay, so the first thing we need is document protectors, and we are going to cut this to size now. Just a little heads up for you, all the materials used and all the dimensions that are needed or mentioned within this tutorial will be also written down on the screen, and they will also be put in the description below, so you can just open up the description and have all the information you need to create this. Obviously the steps are not written down in the description, just the materials and the dimensions. So yeah, let's get into it. Again, what we are going to create is this beautiful pocket right here. The dimensions for the pocket that we need to cut out are 8.7 times 12.7 centimeters or 3.5 by 5 inches. These measurements are specific for the crock personal, and I'm going to tell you why. So it might be something you need to adjust based on the version that you have, the ring binder that you have, but the measurements are made to fit exactly to the seam right here, so it does not interfere with the zipper. So it's made to fit in here perfectly. If you don't have this, you can make it wider. Same for the back pockets. To draw in the lines or the measurements, what we have to keep in mind is that we are going to use the side that is closed, right? That has this seam right here or this fold, like so. I hope you can see it, because we need this function so we can slip it in and it holds, right? So there's a stopper basically. If you cut it open like this, you will just have two pieces, so we don't want that. You can draw it anywhere along of this line, I guess. However, we need the bottom side to be open as well. So if you measure it from here, make sure you measure it above this one so you can cut this away as well, because again, we need it to be able to slide in, and if the lower seam is closed, it won't be able to do so. Let's measure the thing that we need. What I like to do is I like to start at the top so I don't have to do too many cuts. I'm going to measure 8.7. So we have 8.7 right here. I do the marking wherever because I know I can just erase it with a wet cloth afterwards, which which is why we're using a non-permanent marker. So I'm going to do 1 point right here. And then I also need 12.7 centimeters, like so. The next step is to cut this out. So I'm going to grab my cutting machine. I have the Fiskars one, and I really enjoy it, so I can highly recommend this. I've been using this religiously. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this to size right here. As you can see, I'm going to align there's like this, I don't know what it's called, but like this thing in here where you can align the thing with the marking. I'm so eloquent. Wow. But yeah, we're going to cut it right here, and then we're going to align it right here as well. I'm aligning it right here, and then I'm cutting it. You can see if we wouldn't have used the side where it is folded like so, we would just have 2 separate pieces, and we do not want that. We want this to be able to open like this so we can slide it in. You can see I still have some markings right here left, and I'm going to remove them really quickly. You can just use any wet cloth. It doesn't really matter. So we can remove it. And it's gone and as good as new. And now the next step is putting on the sticky pockets. But before we do that, we have to decide where we want to put this. So again, we are going to put this in the front pocket. So we want the seam or the fold to be on the right side. If you're going to put this in the back pocket, you want the seam or the fold to be on the left side. This is just so you can slide it in like this, and so it holds. Because if you would keep it this way with the fold on the right side, it wouldn't do what we want it to do. And the same applies here. We can just easily slide it into here, and you can see it does not interfere with the zipper at all. Let me show you. It doesn't. You can easily open it and close it. Like, I personally don't use the zipper pocket, but if you do, you will still be able to do that even with the DIY pockets attached here. So let's continue. Personally, what I like to do is using these white pockets, like these smaller ones, and I always align 2 of them. I made multiple of these already. So yeah, this is my basically go-to method. You can adjust it the way you want to do it. You can also do 3. You would then start putting them down from the top, so you don't close out the top part. I can actually do 2 of them, so I can show you both methods with 3 pockets and with just 2. So let me quickly do a second one so we can do both methods. So now we have 2 pockets. We can do 1 front pocket and 1 back pocket, just so we have 2 versions. And on the front pocket, I will do 3 of them. Let's do these 3. So first I'm going to put 1 on the top. I'm trying to align it in the middle, but it doesn't really matter because again, you won't see them because we're going to put ephemera in here. Again, we're starting with the top one because we do not want to close out this opening. So I'm just going to layer it on top of here. And then the next one like this. I have not done a pocket like this before, so this will be exciting for me personally. So now you have 3 openings, like here, here, and here as well. And you can stick things in here, which is really fun. I'm going to show you a few examples at the end of it. Another thing that I like to do is I like to put something on the back side as well. So if I get tired of this style, or if I want to have multiple versions that I can use, what I do is I just flip it upside down like this, because again, we want the seam, the fold to be on the right side. So if I want to be able to use this also in the front pocket and have like a second version that I can put there, like for example, with just 2 pockets, then I would need to flip it upside down and not left to right, because that would make it a back pocket because the seam would be on the left. I want to do another version because I have another version of pocket stickers. They are like these taller ones. I love them because they fit Polaroid pictures really well. So I want to put 1 on top of here as well. I use these ones religiously. I've stuck them everywhere in my planner. Like, genuinely, I love it so much. So this one I want to just put in here. You know what? Let me be a bit more experimental. I'm gonna do it like this. I want to do a top pocket like so, and then I will use this one down here like so. How fun is that? So I have a tall one and like a smaller one. So now let me show you how it will look like in the planner itself if you put it in. So let me show you how you can utilize this. We can stick it in like so, and now we have 3 pockets that we can decorate. You can use whatever you have or whatever you want. Like, you can use pictures. This is a picture of my cat, for example, and you can also put down these washi cards or some background pieces. You can also layer things like so. Put another thing into the pocket right here and have it like this. You can also put in pins if you want to, like so, and pin additional things to the pockets themselves. You can basically do whatever you want, right? The sky's the limit because now you have the real estate to put your ephemera in, which is really fun. So let me show you what it would look like if you flip your pocket. So we have another version right here that we have created together. So let me show you what this would look like. You can see we have it like this. And here you can see how perfectly this picture fits into here. This is so cute. I love it. And we can also put this sterling ink business card on top of here, for example, and then maybe a clip. And, you know, again, you can do whatever you want. The sky's the limit. I love this a lot. And to make it a bit more secure, because you can see it's quite flimsy, you can use different methods for that. You can use ollie clips, for example. I have these ones right here, like maybe this red one to stick it down. Or what you can do is use clips like that so it does not move. What I like to do is secure it from the top like this and then also secure it from the side. It looks so cute. So yeah, this is how you create the front pocket. Now let's do a back pocket together as well. It's the same method basically, but just for completion's sake, we will do another pocket in the back as well. I do have pockets in the back here in the Classic Crock, but some planners do not have back pockets. So let's do this together. For the back pockets, what I want to do is create this plastic version that I like with 2 pockets. If you just do 2, again, don't forget to have the fold on the left side. If you create 2, you can just glue them normally, like you don't have to be aware of the, I don't know the English word, but Reihenfolge? Order. You don't have to be aware of the order. So now we have 2 pockets in the front. This is the constellation that I have in my Classic Crock. I'm going to show it to you again. I have 2 pockets here, this one, and this is what I have put in here. Here I have a washi card and 2 ephemera pieces. Here I have another ephemera piece and this bookmark thing. I hope it does. Yeah, I think like this, you won't have a glare. And then I have also clipped this picture of my grandma and I right here. I have it more towards the lower bottom, the lower part of the planner, but you can put it wherever you want to. So now let's flip it. So we have the other side as well. And I'm gonna do just the normal version that I usually do. It's this tall one. And I'm gonna put this like so. Let's now put this into our planner. And right here, if you have this constellation, you can just put one singular picture right here and then clip something to the top, for example, like so. That is so cute. No, I love it so much. So yes, this is how you create your DIY front pockets for your personal size ring planner. That's a wrap, my darlings. Just like that, we have created our very first DIY project together. I hope you've had fun. I had a lot of fun. And as always, may your spreads be gilded, your tea always warm, and your days filled with the purest form of joy and happiness. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you feel inclined to do so, then please hit the notification bell so you never miss out on this chaos. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm really stoked to create the rest of the series. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!